تفضل ابدأ أستاذ.
اوكي شكرا. Good morning, dear students, and welcome to another lesson for English 102, and the unit is 9.4, Study and Writing Skills. Let's have a look at the objectives of today's lesson. So by the end of the lesson, students will have used sequencers correctly, read for gist and specific words, and the final objective will be to write a process essay. So what is a process writing? The process writing is a type of writing which involves giving instructional details to follow in sequential order. So we have order that we have to follow in order to achieve something. The sequences are first, next, after that, then, and finally. Now the words that you have in green, they can be used multiple times. So for example, you have a process that involves, let's say for example, 10 steps. Now you have only 5 sequencers, but you can use next, after that, then, multiple times to or for the 10 steps. But first and finally, they should always come at the very beginning, and finally should come at the very end. So let's have a look at an example. So this is a very simple one. How to make a cup of tea. I'm sure that everyone knows how to make a cup of tea, which is a very simple process. Now, your job is very simple. Just fill in the blanks with sequencers. Again, you've got first, next, then, after that, and finally. All right? As you said, that first comes at the very beginning, finally comes at the very end, and of course you've got after that, then, next. They can be used anywhere because they mean the same. The three of them, they mean the same. So for this activity, I'll give you 3 minutes. Muhammad Isa, Muhammad, thank you for giving me your answer. Sajid Hussein, thank you as well. Okay, I've noticed that you don't write finally correctly. Now, the correct spelling of finally is F-I-N-A-L-L Y. F-I-N-A-L-L-Y. Yeah, that's how you spell finally. Sufyan, thank you so much for participating as well. Ali Abdel Nabi Makki. Yeah. Muhammad Ala. Lutfi, Sayyid Lutfi. All right. Okay, so we need sequencers. So these are the sequencers. The importance of sequencers is that you are telling the audience or you are telling the reader that these steps should be followed in a chronological order. I mean, it should be done in the right order to achieve the goal or the objective. I mean, you can't start with, for example, number 4. You can't start with number 3. You have to follow the sequence of the order in order to achieve the objective. That's why we need sequencers. All right, so making a cup of tea is really easy. There are a few steps that you need to follow to make a cup of tea. First, boil some water in a kettle. Next, pour some water into a cup. After that, add 1 tea bag. Leave the tea bag a few minutes to get strong taste. Then you can add some sugar and milk if you want. Finally, stir and serve it while it is still hot. So this is a very simple way of explaining the process writing. All right. Now, in the chat box, tell me as many as you can. What are the steps that you need to follow before you travel abroad? Think, okay, now I need you to use sequencers as well in one message, all right? Don't give me too many messages. In one message, maybe you have 3 steps, 5 steps, regardless. In one message, tell me what are the steps that you need to follow before you travel abroad. You want to travel, what do you have to do first? Then, after that, next, finally. What do you have to do? Put them in, in order so that whoever reads it can easily know how to travel abroad. What are the things that you have to prepare before you travel abroad? In one message, you can start by first, all right, we have Turkey. He says that there are 10 things that you need to do before any international trip. He says, okay, now you're not using sequencers, Turkey. You're not saying first. So sequencers are missing, Turkey, from your answer. You should include sequencers. So you should say, for example, first, check your passport and apply for any necessary visas. Get vaccinated. Now here it should be then check your then get vaccinated and stock up on medicine. After that, check for travel warnings, advisories, and register your trip. Next, prepare your finances. After that, make copies of travel documents. obtain an international driving permit, get all the necessary gear for your electronics. Thank you so much, Turkey. Ali Ala Abdullah, check the best hotel and the best suited. Check your luggage weight or mass. Check the places you want to visit and organize the whole journey. Thank you, Ali Ala Abdul Nabi. Hussein Fadil Ali Abdullah. First, buy a ticket. Mumtaz. Hussein, you are using sequencers. First, buy a ticket. After that, prepare your suitcase. Then bring your passport. Finally, go to the airport. Yeah, I mean, that's very simple and to the point. Yasin Arshad. First, you must prepare the mandatory things like passport. Next, have a plan. Finally, enjoy. Yeah, I like it. Very easy. Lutfi said Lutfi. First, you should bring your clothes. Then you should go to the airport early. Finally, you should be relaxed. Thank you, Lutfi. Ahmed Mahmoud. First, take a ticket and visa if needed. Yeah, sometimes some countries, they do not require visa. So if they require a visa, then you have to apply for it. Then you get your bags ready and be sure to take everything you need. Finally, take your passport and have a nice chilling holiday. Thank you, Ahmed Mahmoud. Okay, I will take the last one now. Ahmed Makki Hassan. You must read the conditions applicable to your ticket, the arrival hall number, and the weights allowed to be transported, registered, and carried to the passenger cabin. And if you do not find sufficient information that clarifies these things for you, you should inquire by contacting airline directly. Okay, we have Taha Fadil. First, put the important small thing into a small bag. Next, put your clothes and whatever you need in the main bag. After that, check your bags carefully and make sure you didn't miss anything. Then go to the airport before 3 hours from your traveling time. Finally, get in the plane and enjoy your travel. All right. Now, let's have a look at the example that we have here. Okay. Now, instead of the sequencers that we have just looked at, first, next, second, first, next, after that, then, finally, we can use numerical sequencers like first, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, fifthly. You can use them instead of the previous one. So for this activity, just 2 minutes, it's very easy. It's just an example for the steps that you need to follow before you travel abroad. Fill in the blanks with the numerical sequences. You've got fourthly, finally, thirdly, first, secondly. 3 minutes for this activity. Mara Ali Hassan. Ali, thank you. Hussein Ali Hussein. Yeah, Hussein Ali Hussein. Thank you. Sajjad Hussein Yusuf. Yeah, your answer is correct. Turki Abdullah Yusuf at the Wadi. Your answer is correct as well. So traveling is not an easy thing that one can do all of a sudden. You need to prepare a few things, and there are a number of steps that you need to follow before you travel abroad. First, of course, you can use first, or you can use first of all. So you can use first or first of all. You need to apply for a visa if the country you want to go to requires it. Secondly, you'll have to book a flight ticket from a travel agency. Thirdly, it is important that you learn a few words and expressions to help you communicate with the people there. Fourthly, pack your bag and get ready to fly. Finally, sleep and eat well before the day of the departure. So these are the steps that you need to follow before you travel abroad, and be careful not to forget anything you need. Now, you might want to take a picture of this because I'm going to ask you something now. So take a picture of this screen using your mobile phone. Take a picture, please. I'll give you 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Take a picture of this slide. All right. Hopefully you have done so. Now, based on the reading that you have done, or based on the this process essay. Okay, so this is the model answer. Are there other things that you need to prepare as well, other than the ones mentioned in the process writing? I need only the ones that are new. I mean, they haven't been mentioned in the previous process essay. What are the other things that you need to prepare as well, and they haven't been mentioned in the writing essay? So think about the things that haven't been mentioned in the previous essay. What are the, I mean, some of you have done this when you have written the things that you need to do before you travel abroad. But now I need only the ones that haven't been mentioned in the previous essay. So maybe you can think of 1 or 2 things that haven't been mentioned in the essay. All right. Sajjad Hussein Yusuf, he says passport. Yeah, maybe checking whether the passport has expired or not. Yeah, so that's one thing that you have to bear in mind. You have to check before you travel. Transferring money or changing the currency, maybe transferring money. changing currency maybe. Yeah, that's one of the things that you should do as well before you travel abroad. Preparing the finances. Excellent, Ali Abdel Nabi. Ali Abdel Nabi Makki. Preparing the finances, the financial matters. Yeah. Abdullah Ibrahim Hafid. He says you need to take a taxi to arrive or to take you from the airport. When you get to the airport, you need to take a taxi. But Abdullah, this is not something that you need to prepare before you travel abroad. I mean, you can do it on the spot. I mean, you are at the airport, you can just, take a taxi very easily. It's not something that you have to prepare before you travel abroad. Thank you, Abdullah, but I'm glad that you are participating. All right. There are other things as well. So we talked about money, transferring money. We talked about changing currency. Muhammad Mahmoud Anwar, he says, you have to go to the hospital to have the required vaccines. Excellent. Yeah. These days, it is very important to make sure that you are healthy and you are not affected by the coronavirus. Yeah, that's one of the things that you should do before you travel. Yeah, I agree with that. You have to check. Turkey, yes, he says, such as getting vaccinated and preparing all your medicines and your needs. Then you should go to the doctor and make a checkup for yourself. Yeah, thank you. It's the same idea as well. Okay, so we are talking about getting vaccination. Yeah. Okay, what you're saying is right. Mustafa Ahmed Majid, he says, check if you need an international driver license. Excellent. Sometimes you travel to Europe, you might need an international driving license. Yeah, because you will do a lot of driving there. Yeah, because it's possible that you rent a car and you drive the whole day. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Yeah. So if you are planning to do this, then you should get yourself an international driving license. Yeah. Muhammad Isa, you should buy some accessories that you need and read a tour guide to help you with your trip. Excellent, Muhammad Isa. You should know about the tourist attractions that are famous in the country that you want to travel to. Yeah. You have to do your homework before you travel abroad. Before you go to the country that you want to visit, make sure that you are familiar with the tourist attractions that are famous in that country. Thank you so much, Muhammad Isa. Excellent. Unfortunately, his name is not available. You need to book a hotel before you go. It will be much cheaper. Excellent. I don't know who this is. All right, but your idea is very good. Yeah, you have to book a hotel. Excellent. I mean, if you book a hotel from your own country, then it will be cheaper, it will be quicker for you, and you will not have problems of finding a hotel. So it's better that you book a hotel before you go and travel. Ali Hassan Muhammad, he says packing. Packing is mentioned in the process essay. It's mentioned, so it's not what we are looking for. Ali Mukhtar Mansour. He says, it is advisable to check in a day or two, either online or in person. Yeah, thank you. Muhammad Salman Khalil, if you are going to a place like China, get some halal food with you from your country. Well said, Muhammad Salman. Yeah, China is a non-Muslim country, but I think, Muhammad, because they respect all religions, I think halal food is available there. Yeah, because they care about other people, and yeah, they respect all religions. So if you need halal food, you will definitely find it. But I agree with you that just to make sure that in case they don't have halal food, then you might bring your own halal food with you if you are staying there just for a couple of days, because you can't really stay there for a long time. Yeah. Muhammad Ala, he says you need to get vaccinated. Yes, excellent. You need to book a hotel in the other country. Yeah, I agree with you. Abdullah Mustafa, he says you need to prepare gifts if you're traveling to your hometown. Yeah, this is when you are coming back, Abdullah, right? So when you come back, you have to buy some gifts for your family. Yeah, I agree with that. It will look bad. I mean, if you travel and come back with empty-handed, yeah, you come empty-handed, that would make you embarrassed. Ahmed Ali Muhammad, your credit card, yes, I agree with that. You need credit card instead of your cash. All right. Don't forget the gum because of the noise in the plane. Yes, I agree with that. And it's available on the plane as well. Sometimes you need a gum to prevent the noise of the plane. Some people are annoyed by this, so they chew gum. All right, thank you. I really appreciate your participation. All right. Now, um, these are the steps that you need to follow in order to learn English or any other language. All right. So these are the steps that you need to follow to learn English, for example. All right. What you have to do is put them in the most logical sequence. So, for example, you say, for example, C is number one. So you just, in one message, you write B is one, D is two, like this. All right. So I'll give you 5 minutes for this activity, or maybe more. Maybe you need more time. Maybe I'll give you 7 minutes. So read these steps and put them in the most logical sequence. We might disagree with some of them, but there should be some kind of logic behind your order. There should be some kind of logic behind your order. So put those steps in the most logical sequence. I'll give you 7 minutes for this activity. All right, we have some responses. So Turkey says number one is C is number one. Looks like we're gonna disagree, Turkey. Yeah, so you think C is number one, all right. A is number two. A is number two, all right. B is number three, all right. E is number four. And D is number five, all right. Okay, let's have, I respect your thinking, Turkey, but I must say that I disagree with some of your answer. Okay, we have Sajjad. He says, Sajjad, you didn't put them in the correct sequence. You should write some numbers so that I know that C is number one, B is number two, like this. All right. So you are putting them first, second, third, fourth, and okay. Now I understand. Okay, Sajjad. Okay. So C is number one. All right. C is number one. Okay. B is number two. A is number three. D is number four. And E is number five. Okay, Sajjad, can you do all the above steps before you know the alphabets? Don't you think that knowing the alphabets is the very first step that you should do? Yeah? You can't read unless you know the alphabets, right? So you can't have E at the end, right? You can't have it at the end. Hussein Naji, he says E is number one. All right, E is number one. A is number two. D is number three. B is number four, and C is number five. Now, when I show you the answer, I will tell you why this is logical. Yeah, and hopefully you will agree with me. But again, this is just my own philosophy, let's say, or my own thinking. You might disagree with me, but I will tell you the logic behind my order. Yeah, as long as I give you some kind of logic, then my answer would be valid. Ali Abdullah. Yeah, it's funny the way you put them. Ali Abdullah, yeah. Okay. Jasim Qaisar, he says one is E. All right, we are there. So the first thing you have to do is know the alphabets. That's the first thing you learn at the very stages of grade 1 or grade 2. Yeah? You know the alphabets. If you don't know them, then you can't go to the next step. Then we have 2 is D. 2 is D. 3 is A. 3 is A. 4 is B. All right. And 5 is C. Okay. All right. Sayyid Mustafa Musa, he says 1 is A. C is 2. 1 is A, huh? How can you read How can you read first and then you know the alphabets? It doesn't make sense, right? By the way, this is very good for you, especially to those who are not really so good at learning a language. Yeah? I mean, this is the logical sequence of learning a language. And this is the logical sequence if you really want to improve your language. If you do things that are way in front of you, then you will not be able to do them because you are missing the previous steps. You haven't really mastered the previous steps. That's why you can't really improve. That's why you can't really go further in your learning. All right. Now, I'll share with you my logical sequence and see if you can agree or disagree. All right, I'll show you now. So, the first one, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, all right? The first one should be and must be is E. It is E, right? So you need to know the alphabets. If you don't know them, you will not be able. So first, you need to know the alphabets. If you don't know them, you will not be able to read or write. The second one, I don't know if someone put B, the second one. If you are a good learner, you will know that B should be the next step. You should know the pronouns, الضمائر في اللغة الإنجليزية. If you don't know them, then you will struggle. You will not be able to know the comprehension that you have in a reading. You'll not be able to understand well because pronouns can replace nouns. الضمائر تحل محل الأسماء. So the second step is pronouns. لازم تعرف الضمائر in English. I, you, we, they, it, he, she. Yeah? So that's the step number two. So first, you know the alphabets. Then you know the pronouns in English. And after that is C. Do we have someone who put C in the third place? Do you have someone who put C in the third place? C in the third place? No. We have Mustafa Musa, he put C in second place. Ali Hassan, C is second place. Yeah, it should be the third one. It should be the third step. You know the common words in English and especially verbs because you cannot have a sentence without a verb. So you see, there is logic behind it. You know the alphabets, you know the pronouns, and then you know the most common words in English, and you know the most common verbs in English. This is very important, by the way. And after you know the most common words in English, then you can read, which is A. You try to read a lot. This will help you get familiar with the words order, how the words are put in order, how they are structured, and then you will expand, you will increase your vocabulary. And after that, the most difficult thing, now you have mastered the alphabets, you have mastered the pronouns, you have some common words in English, you have read a lot, and then you can practice writing. That's the final step. Writing is the last step that you should do. After you have mastered the previous steps, you can't go to writing if you have problems with the alphabets, if you have problems with the most common words in English, if you have problems with the pronouns, you cannot do them if you don't master the previous steps. We're going to stop at here. Next week, inshallah, we're going to start with the passive voice. So you might have to do some Googling regarding the present simple passive voice, because we're going to need it for the process writing, especially next week, because we will focus, inshallah, next week on this kind of writing. Thank you so much. Thank you for perseverance. And I'll see you, inshallah, next week. And happy weekend. Bye-bye for now.